France and Wales. Well, that was certainly a high scoring one, 38 points to 21. Maybe back to the France team that we saw prior to that game where they got beaten by Scotland. Wales may be a little bit concerning in some areas. That being said, it's still a warm up. I mean, it's a test match, so you take it seriously, but it's also a warm up, so you still got to take this into that little bit of consideration. But yeah, we'll go over some of the key events of the game, some of the key stats, and you guys can let me know what you reckon about this one. It started with a bit of a hiss and a roar for Wales, and you were thinking, man, this is the Wayne Pivac Wales team that we've been waiting to see. They cut loose early. Halfpenny got a try, some great hands, Tipperick to Bigger to Halfpenny, kicked the conversion, and within like a minute, it's 7-0 to Wales. You're thinking, these guys have come to play, they're looking sharp, it's going to be a good time. If you can hear noises outside, by the way, that's my kids playing in the front yard. It's not ecstatic French fans in the streets. They doubled down with a penalty on 7 minutes to make it 10-0, so it's looking pretty good. However, the French probably did start to kick it up a notch after that. 12 minutes, Dupont goes close. Adams makes a bit of a try-saving tackle. But like a phase or two later, Cyril Bayet goes over for the first French try. And it was all from a Intermac clean break. So it's back to game on at 7 points to 10. Wales kick another penalty on 18 to make it 13-7. Again, kind of taking your chances, pushing out that scoreline, keep it ticking over. However, on 21 minutes, Fiku beats Adams to a high ball, an Intermac high ball, and Halfpenny kind of gets them out of jail with a breakdown penalty. He gets in there and should have had rights to the ball, don't release it, so he gets a penalty. The Wales get to exit. But I felt like that was a bit ominous as you go on. Like, goodness me, how many times did France put up a high ball and the Wales guys either not catch it or knock it on? I mean, that's maybe a bit of rush. This is a warm-up game. That's one area where you can say, okay, we'll give them a pass for that one. But, man, if they got Scotland next week, you may see a bunch of high balls from the Scots. But we will see. It was just a bit of a worrying area. 22 minutes, North had a high ball struggle of his own, but he also got back to help turn over the French ball. Bigger was limping a little bit. He was getting ice put on his leg, but he managed to stay on at least like 65 minutes. So it was a bit concerning, but good news that he stayed on. Half an hour, Dupont's try. That one isn't. I wrote the note like thing of beauty because it was a proper sweet try. Vakatawa's offload to Teddy Thomas was pretty sweet, and then Thomas' inside ball to Dupont. Man, like, even if you're a Welsh fan, you would have had to admire that try. 14 points to 12, so that's the only lead change of the game. France go in front, and they will not relinquish that lead. And it's only a few minutes later, Dupont gets another one, and it comes from Wales' turnover ball. Here in New Zealand, we're used to seeing the All Blacks' heads kind of pop up whenever they get turnover ball. They look like lethal. This French side showed a bit of that in this one. Rhys Carey knocks it on. Fiku kind of steps Tipperick, I think it was. And Vakatawa gets the ball to Dupont. Well worked move, man. Like, heads up play. 21-13. Bang, bang for the French. Looking pretty dangerous. On 36 minutes, Bouthier had a carry. And he kind of like ended up tipping over and landing maybe partially on his head. And he did that kind of watching soccer football style thing where he grabbed his head. And it looked like a bit of a Hollywood, but I may have been doing him a discredit because he didn't come back on after halftime. The medic came on, had a look at him, and then as soon as Wales got the ball, he kind of jumped back up and went back into the line. So, I don't know. It was a bit of a weird one, but I hope he's all right. He certainly looked like he'd hurt himself and then sprang back up, which is what made me, I don't know, just think about that one. Anyway, that's the way it goes in at halftime. France have had possession 66%, territory 71% in that first half. They've had more run meters, 213 to 86. They've been tackling at 90%, where Wales is a pretty disappointing 81%. Like a Sean Edwards-led Wales side traditionally just shut down everything. I know it's a new coaching staff. Sean Edwards is now with France and whatnot, so you're likely to see changes. It's just it wasn't that flashed. Although it did get a bit better in the second half for Wales' tackling percentage. Maybe not for the scoreboard. Knock-ons was 4-5 with Wales having one extra. Penalties conceded was 7-1. 7-1. So France really copping it with the referee's whistle. But yeah, that's how it was at half time. Second half, Bigger gets a penalty after France had a bit of interference at the breakdown to make it 21-16. Again, trying to keep the scoreboard ticking over. France, more aerial ball. Olivon beat Adams to 1. France went close, but Aldrit knocks it over the line. That one, if you're a France fan, you'd be thinking that's probably at least 5 points down the drain because he caught the ball. Maybe he didn't catch the ball, but he was already through the defenders. All he had to do was just catch it and dot it down. But another one that came from aerial ball, which, as I said, is maybe a touch worrying. 47 minutes, France kicked their only penalty to make it 24-16. I guess trying to reduce that gap that the Welsh guys have been trying to bring closer. 50 minutes. Interestingly, Wales get a penalty and they maybe get orders from the top, but they go for a change in tack because instead of going for the 3, they kick for touch. They get it into the French 22. And Wales start to look dangerous like they did in that opening phase. But like Dylan Lewis, I think it was, popped a ball. Maybe it was a miracle ball or at least it was a 50-50. But it doesn't go to hand. It goes straight into touch. So it's a bit of a missed opportunity for Wales. Then they switch back. When they get their next penalty, they opt for the 3. And Bigger pushes it wide. And then a few minutes later, they get another chance. For Dan Bigger, it's a pretty straightforward kick. And he misses that one as well. So a potential 7 points from a try, if they'd got that 50-50 ball, maybe is down the drain. And maybe 6 points penalties down the drain. So momentum, man. Like it's hard to get you guys motivated when you're missing those chances. 66 minutes, Dupont gathers another loose high ball. He passes to Aldrit. And, it's another try. Oh, was it Olivon? Not Aldrit. I got my notes wrong. Yeah. Troubling times for Wales at that point. I think it was Teddy Thomas who actually won the high ball against a combination of like Josh Adams and Lewis Rees-Zammit. So, yeah. 68 minutes, Wales hit back. They're 1 meter out. They go through some phases. It was France's turn to be poor. It's pretty much from the kickoff after Olivon's try. And Nicky Smith goes over. They miss the conversion, so Dan Bigger's third miss in a row with the boot. But it's 31-21. Maybe that's game on, but Teddy Thomas has the final say. He gets the last try of the game. It's a little bit of individual brilliance. They're on the blind side. He chips it over Bigger. And, it's on the blind side of the ruck, and he just regathers it. It's a proper Teddy Thomas try. So, yeah, man. What can you say? 38 points to 21. It's a fantastic conversion from Intimac at the end as well. So, yeah. I mean, Wales did go close at the death. Gareth Davis, I think, went close. Alan Wynne-Jones still running hard with the support line. But they rushed it a bit when I think it was Tompkins tapped it, and it was like a shocking pass. So, yeah, a bit of a... because they won a penalty from it. But, yeah. Some missed chances from Wales. Some bits of beauty from France. Overall, you'd say France deserved winners. Wales will need to be better next week. They've got Scotland, France, they've got Ireland, so there should be good games in the Six Nations next week. Let's hope this is a bit of rust shaken off, and we'll see what we can see. Because there was still, some areas of the game, 13 knock-ons from France, 6 from Wales. That's too many. Run meters 354 to 267. That's a solid amount, man. Like in terms of entertainment value, that's good. Possession and territory actually kind of evened out as Wales had the lion's share in the second half. Individuals, Dupont had 2 tries, a try assist, 75 run meters, 4 clean breaks, and 4 defenders beaten and a clean break. That dude's magic. Halfpenny, 79 run meters, a clean break, a try, a defender beaten. I think he took one high ball and semi-knocked it on at the end from memory. He's usually a pretty safe pair of hands. Olivon, 11 from 11 tackles. LaRue, 12 from 12. Tipperick had 16 out of 18. Yeah. I think George North got his first run on about 55 minutes. So, yeah, it definitely didn't go all according to plan for Wales. It could have been a bit better. But like I said, those French guys, they've got some pretty bloody talented players, and they were showing off some pretty sweet skills. So, yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the game. If you haven't seen it yet, it is available on ITV for the next month. So if you're in the UK, you can just jump on there and watch it. It's a free service, which is grand. If you don't live in the UK and still want to see the game, we'll see how you can get that done. But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later. So guys, if you are outside the UK, you do want to see the rugby, which is on in the Northern Hemisphere at the minute. Scotland, Georgia, Ireland, Italy, Wales, France. Trick is to use a VPN. So I'll put a link in the description for Express. That's the one that I've been using. All you need to do is connect to a UK server and jump on the ITV hub, which is the one that I've got. Here. I'm looking in their sports section at the minute. So you can stream the games live, or you can watch them on demand. So they've got international rugby here. This is where you'll find the warm-up games like Scotland, Georgia, and Wales and France. And then they've got like the Six Nations here, which has got your Italy, and Ireland. So, yeah, man, it's a pretty good service. They've got ads. It's the only thing. It's the only thing I would say. But otherwise, it is perfectly free. So, yeah, check out the link in the description if you want to watch the games. It's got a 30-day money-back guarantee in case it doesn't work for you. But as I said, it's always worked for me. So, yeah, cheers, guys. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.